Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Logic can't be applied to relationships. You know what? I hate to say that because, you get a little bit of whatever, like a little bit of logic, but really, you get some people try to do stuff all according to logic. Like they thinking, well, if I do step A, B, and C, this shit'll work. No, it doesn't work. Anybody who thinks it works, that's, as a mentor would say, that's the very definition of a nerd, thinking they're going to apply logic to a relationship. You know, even men who are more logical than women, we ain't always logical. If we were logical, we wouldn't be in trouble. You know, if you were logical, you wouldn't chase that big butt woman or something like that because other guys chasing her, and since you don't want her to cheat, logically you get the woman less likely to cheat. That's logic, but you still want that big butt. You don't care. Shoot. You know, that's why a lot of dudes in some, let's put it like this, family court, if men really use logic, wouldn't exist. And so we definitely know women don't really use logic. Because even, a theme I've been using is, past couple days is an average looking man getting, being with a good looking woman. You know, the logic, which really isn't logic, is just... It's just a thought, an idea that, that good-looking woman would want a good-looking man. And people, scientists even try to say, well, they want this or that. Man, that don't got nothing to do with it. A woman like that guy, because she like him. Now, my favorite case, I've talked about this before, right? This is when I really learned that, right? I was dealing with this woman, very, very attractive. Like a genuine dime, right? A genuine dime. She was tall too, 5'10", had light eyes, everything. Light eyes, brown hair. She was a sister, And, in a black community, we call her red bone or something, right? I never forget. I'm thinking she liking me for, my little bit of status, my body, looks, all that shit. She was like... I've said this before. She was just like, oh, no, because you play with children, you work with children, and you do errands for your grandmother. That's because she was looking back. She was an 87. She was an 87 octane. And, if you don't know about the octanes, check out BGS. He talks about them. She was an 87. She wanted a family. So that's how she was looking at it. Actually, there was some logic there, really. But you still can't apply it. Because I'm looking at it from my logic, oh, she should like me for these other things. But from her thing, she likes something else. And also, too, it's not always logical how a woman would choose a man. If they were really logical, if women especially were logical, I already said what wouldn't happen if men were logical, truly logical with women. But if women were logical, some of y'all get no play. Because women would all automatically get with the guy with money and all of that, right? But they always don't. And there's a lot of guys who got some ends and all of that. The women don't get with them. They might get with some guy because they like his smile. Or what's logic about a woman liking the color of a man's shoes and getting hot? Nah, those are emotions. It evokes emotions, right? And see, people get in trouble. They try to... have like that step by step, or they try to say, like recently I did a video and I said, looks are subjective, because you get some guys and they say, well, it's the symmetry and all of that. What that mean? You can be symmetrical, you can have some perfect measurement or something, and a woman still be looking at you like he ugly. Because a woman ain't thinking symmetry and all that shit. She really ain't. And those studies out there really are dubious. Seriously, every single study out there, there's somebody else who debunked the shit. So, but a woman might just say, oh, I like the smile. It's just kind of like a friend of mine, right? She's looking for a kitten, right? She's looking for a kitten. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, okay, my music has stopped. I was about to call my cable provider. But She was looking for some kittens, and she found some, but she said she might want to get this extra kitten if it's still around, right? Because the kitten was a run of the litter, but she just fell in love with it. That's an important factor with women. That's a very important factor, especially. It's like their heart goes into it, right? There's nothing logical about that. They might they might fall in love with that guy. Sometimes they feel sorry for a dude and fall in love with him, or they might look at him and think, oh, well, this dude pretty nice, but he busted. He ugly, but he nice though. Let me give him some pussy. And then that dude, if he learned how to use that, he could probably get a lot of sympathy pussy, even though you don't generally want that. But there's no logic to that. There's no logic to any of that. People don't work ABC. That's why a lot of people, if you can have everything in paper and still can't figure it out. Like you get some cats, they got the money, they got the house. People say they handsome. People say they got a nice body. You can't figure it out. But they go on a date and they might say or do something stupid, right? And the woman's like turned off. Or she still might not like it. Because I've met some dudes who some women have considered handsome, but then another woman in the same circle be like, ooh, that's not logic. That's not objective. Like logic is mathematics. Real logic is mathematics, step by step. Like if you do something, you can repeat it. But anybody who's like dealt with more than 10 women know the same shit didn't work on every one of them. And they'll like you for different things. They might be some general thing they like. But then they might say, you know what? I like that you work hard. Or I like that you take care of your kids. It's what tugs at their heart. Right? And see, people got to get into, like, even males, even though we still tend to try to be more logical anyway. You still got to remember there's always that X factor there. There's always that variable. Like if you've ever gone on a date, right? And everything going all well, y'all click, but you might say one thing, innocent thing, you ain't think anything about it, but all of a sudden the woman stops smiling. The women stop smiling, all of a sudden you sitting there like, damn, what'd I say? But it was just like one little thing, one little small thing. Like, look at the video I did yesterday on triggers. You might have just said something. Those triggers can work both ways. They can open up a woman, but they can also shut her down. Or as one woman said, instant dryness. So you can try. I mean, you can try. But I'll say this. Has it worked for you? How many people has that worked for? They try to go step by step. Like I've had some people, they'll say, well, can you give me a step by step? I say, man, there's so many variables that can happen in that moment. That's why sometimes people who, that's why some of the biggest players are very intuitive, meaning they can flow. They're not necessarily relying on the logic, right? They going with the flow, so they can flow with the woman. Because first of all, with a woman, just the very nature of how her moods change. You can't go step by step because you might be in a step, but then her mood changes, and her mood can change right away. You could say something to a woman and all of a sudden she's smiling. Or you dealing, or you could say something, she ain't smiling, she feels some fear. Or you just say something. Shoot, sometimes you can be in the middle of having sex with a woman. You can be having sex with her, you say something wrong, right? Or you don't do something. You don't look at her right. Your head in the pillow too much, and she feel like you don't really care about her or something like that. Seriously, think about it. Like, the thing is, and I've told some people this. I told some women this, because you get some women who try to go with the logic thing, and it really don't work in relationships. Just the nature of it, it's so many variables. Now it's good for if you're doing the engineering. It's good for math. It serves a place. But when you're talking about male-female relationships, you got to remember the one constant is dynamic, and dynamic just mean constantly changing. constant. It's not A, B, and C. Trust me, divorce courts would be empty, everything, if we were logical in relationships. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you later. Peace and blessings.